Sabotage right here on the DSN, your Team Sportscast Network. We've got Return to Castle Wolfenstein coming up in about 15 minutes or so. Cal, Maine, semifinal round of the playoffs. In the world of Wolfenstein, this is it. This is the big one. This is the big kahuna. Well, I guess the second to biggest kahuna, being that the final round would be the main one. Wouldn't that be right, Justice?
You got it, buddy. Semifinals will be great. Finals will be better.
Oh, yes. A little bit of information I've got on these teams. Team DeathTouch, back in Season 2, they did quite well in the Cal Invitational League. Absolute top-notch league for the Cal. And LiQuiD, they were dominating the Cal O. So we got the two extremes right there. From the Cal O, and I'm not trying to take anything from these teams, but that's the bottom of the Cal. And the top of the Cal I, they're both coming together right here in the main in the final round. LiQuiD really coming a long way to make it this far. And, well, the money is going to be banking on Team DeathTouch just because, hey, they've been around longer, they've competed at the higher levels. But LiQuiD, don't underestimate these guys. We've seen a lot of these lower-level teams stepping up to the plate, showing a lot of skills right here. What do you think? Close game?
I'm hoping for a close game. I don't know. I don't really know. I don't know much about LiQuiD. I know DeathTouch is... they're not going to slow down, you know, and the Cinderella story should continue into the playoffs if everything goes to a T. But like I said, LiQuiD is sort of the X factor. We don't know how good this clan is. They've gotten, you know, to the final three, so obviously they've got some skills. But how do they stack up to DeathTouch? We'll find out.
Yes, we will. Unfortunately, I don't have hard stats right here, but I do have a little bit of information on what transpired right here in the playoffs. Oh, first off, I got a private message coming from Zinj. He wants me to give a shout out to Dustin from Illumina. Oh, apparently Zinj is Illumina. What do you know? Anyways, what transpired here in season number 3 of the Cal Maine playoffs? As far as DeathTouch, the first round was stellar. They went up against Team Darkside, their arch nemesis, and defeated them 3-2. You and I were there during that fateful match. Justice, what do you recall from the DeathTouch Darkside upset in round 1?
Well, I recall that Darkside was up and leading in the match earlier, and DeathTouch made that incredible comeback, capped off with one of the most infamous moves in RTCW history, the final sequence, the closing seconds. Rambo has the documents, gets up the spiral, the radio steps. This is on MP Beach we're talking about. At the top of the radio steps, Sabo, there was one lowly DeathTouch medic.
He nailed.
Was that medic waiting? Was he looking at the document carrier? No, he was not. He was facing off against another member of Darkside, clear across the room, wasn't even looking at the transmitter, had no idea the documents were coming. Crazy deity intervenes, and serendipity reigns supreme because for some reason Rambo decides to try to sneak around that medic instead of killing him, and the medic, for whatever reason, just sort of juked around, you know, sidestepped and hit a couple bullets into the documents carrier. Documents fall literally 2 inches away from glory. Yeah, they get returned, and game is over.
In fact, I saw a demo from that game after the fact from the perspective of DT Nail, that lowly medic who saved the game right there, and he had no earthly idea of what was going on. It was quite obvious.
Yeah, it looked like it.
Well, he was on the complete opposite side of the map. You know where the radio room is in Beach? He's on the roof on the other end. He's running towards the radio room, and he gets shot up, comes to 4 health. 4 health. He was so close to going down, and he falls off the bridge, and just before he splatters on the ground, I don't know what he did. He, dropped the medic pack and fell on it, brought his health back up, and he's just about dead still. Made his way up that ladder, runs into the radio room, still doesn't know what's going on. He turns around to find that the allies are already in the radio room behind him. So he's fighting with allies over there, completely oblivious to the fact that Rambo's coming up with the documents. And for some reason, he just jerks his mouse over and looks to the right, and one bullet pierces the skull of Rambo, as you said, 2 inches away from the glory. And DT Nail makes that return. It was an event to be remembered. Well, then DeathTouch moved on to another huge game, which you and I casted again. DT and the new powerhouse on the block, Locked on Target, who at that time was undefeated. That was a close game, 3-2. Do you remember any highlights from there?
From what
DT,
match? I'm sorry, I was reading.
DT versus Locked on Target.
3-1 was the final score.
It was that. That's right, because every match that night was 3-1.
I think we all expected Locked on Target to win pretty easily that night. DeathTouch, just had more heart, came out, had great aim, better strats, a lot of experience to draw from, and took him out. It wasn't even that close. I think Locked on Target got the first point, and then DeathTouch just went on a 3-point rampage, and that was it.
Right. In fact, as I recall, it started out round 1, or set 1 rather, Locked on Target was all over DeathTouch. It was looking like it was going to be a pretty quick game in favor of Locked on Target. And then we went to set 2, and it was really, really close. Right? I think I'm remembering this right. It was real close. DT
Where there
came
was
out
a tie or
top.
something?
Maybe, but I know it kind of progressed in favor. The winning curve slowly made its way in favor of Team DeathTouch. It was Locked on Target, really close, could be anybody, and then DeathTouch on top by the very end, 3-1. And that brings them now into the semifinal round, and they will be facing Team LiQuiD. Now, unfortunately, we haven't casted any of these games that LiQuiD was involved in the previous playoffs, so we can't comment. All I know is LiQuiD defeated Team Saint, moved on into round 2, defeated GAT, the Global Assault Team, and now they're right here in the semifinals going up against DeathTouch. What do you think? Like I said earlier, that makes LiQuiD the X Factor. I have no idea what these guys are capable of, and if I was DeathTouch, I might feel a little bit nervous about that. I hate to go into a match against a relatively unknown opponent. I would assume that DeathTouch knows more about LiQuiD than I do, but my general feeling is that LQD is just sort of the X-Man. We don't know what to expect, and they could surprise us or they could flop. Yep. LiQuiD is definitely the underdogs. I have casted them before a long time ago, back in Season 2, Cal O. And, it was Cal O. I don't really remember the details of how they really performed back then, and I really never envisioned them coming up against a team of DeathTouch's caliber. Again, this season, TSN's not really seen a lot of Team LiQuiD, even though they've done so outstandingly well. And no one's really paid that much attention to them, which makes them mysterious. What are their tactics? What are their strategies? What do they do? What's their favorite map? Nobody knows, and that could be a nice card in favor of Team LiQuiD. Looks like I'm getting the server info right here. Well, no, I take it back. Looks like the match is going to be slightly delayed, as I'm talking to Tsunami from Team LiQuiD. He said he's shopping around right now for a server. So, he's telling me it might be time. It might be time for me to go to music to buy him some time to find that server. LiQuiD DeathTouch. Apparently, the deal is this. The Speakeasy Cal servers have not yet been upgraded. So, to the new 1.4, is it?
Yeah, 1.4.
1.4. They've not been upgraded to that, so they have to go and try to find something different. And each team, they're going through some wild political frenzy trying to figure out which server's best for both teams. So it's taking them a while.
The fun commences.
Oh, yes. Online gaming. You've got to love it. So, I guess that warrants a little bit of Dirty Vegas. Days go by. What do you think?
Sure does. Let's hit it.
All right.
Take it to the bridge.
Yeah, spin it, D-man.
League, but no one likes Village here, TSM.
Well, TSN, Sabo, your allied saboteur, right here with the allied Tauntaun and Justice as we prepare for another exciting return to Castle Wolfenstein matchup from the Cal Main playoffs. The semifinals, to be precise. DeathTouch versus Team LiQuiD. First off, from IRC, I gotta give a shout out to X Rice because he asked for it. I almost said axed, Justice. Okay, I can't enunciate. Anywho,
it's gonna be one of those nights, and another great start to a beautiful cast here at TSN.
Indeed, as you say, they always end bad and they start bad, but they're good in between. Take our word for it.
It's true, and they've only been getting better as of late.
Yes, or so we like to think. The map tonight is one of my absolute least favorites, MP Village. Justice, I hate this one. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, boo!
Yeah.
I think this is a horrible map for the playoffs. I don't know what they're thinking over there in the Cyberathlete Amateur League, but no one likes Village, and it's not a well-balanced map. It's long, tedious, not a whole lot of action. It's not a lot of fun to cast, but I guess if you're going to have 4 or 5 rounds, you got to do something. Yeah. There's not that many maps out there. But I'd rather play base twice or something than face Village. I mean,
yeah, but I'd have
it's such a hard map.
It's a confusing map, too. You know, it's got all these little tiny corridors going up, down, and left and right, and it just gets to be a challenge to navigate. You know, the allied team, they spawn up here. Oh, wait a minute. Where do they spawn?
The allied team spawns back by the truck.
It's been way too long, buddy. Yeah. Oh, man. MP Village, the map I have avoided for oh so long, comes back to haunt me in the Cal Main semi-final round, DeathTouch versus LiQuiD. No! The map's going to own me. It will.
It is going to own you. Well, for those of you who don't know, for all of you non-RTCW listeners, this map is going to be very confusing to try to visualize if you haven't seen it, but we'll give it a shot. Here's the deal. Allies spawn near the Allied truck. The Allied truck is also where the Allies need to bring the documents, also known as gold, but since I'm an idiot, I always refer to them as a document, and probably will continue tonight. That's where they need to bring them in order to capture and complete their objective. Now, there's a whole bunch of ways to get to the crypt. The crypt is where the gold is housed. You can go left at the fork and end up attacking the tavern direction, or you can hang a right and go through the Axis spawn and into the graveyard. If you go left through the tavern, you're going to be inside the tavern, through the courtyard. Then you're going to go down past the forward deployment flag. Now, if the Allies grab that flag, that's where they're going to respawn. It's considerably closer. Takes about 30 seconds to cross the map in total. So it's very important for the Allied team to grab that flag and keep a hold of it. Now, once they get the flag, they can go inside the tavern, down into the wine cellar, and then, my friend, they have 2 choices. They can go up ladder number 1, or they can go up ladder number 2. There is no mystery ladder, but if there were, I wouldn't recommend it. So ladder number 1 usually leads into the graveyard, depending on how you visualize it. I know a lot of people refer to ladder number 1 as the crypt ladder, but for the sake of tonight, ladder number 1 is referring to the ladder that opens up inside the graveyard. Ladder number 2, Sabo, leads up to the crypt. Now, the crypts and the graveyard aren't that far apart. They're right next to each other, but there's different ways on how to defend each of the ladders.
Yep.
So that's basically it. You got to get through that graveyard, then you got to blow the crypt. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah,
Engineer has to get a dynamite planted. Yeah, that's almost the hardest part. Once the crypt is blown, then you just got to get it back. It's not that hard because it's such a big map that it's easy for the Allies to kind of disguise their route and sort of sneak the documents places. So it's not that difficult once it's been blown, but getting the dynamite down, that's the hard part. So you got to blow that crypt, grab the gold, make a mad dash for the Allied truck. Try not to get Panzerfaust killed in that one tower that I can't describe to you, but everyone knows exactly what I'm talking about who has played this map. And that's it. That's the map, folks. MP Village. It's
a big, ugly, nasty, confusing-looking map. Even if you've played it 1,000 times, you still don't know which way to go. Left, right, up, down. And, oh, buddy, planting the dynamite at that crypt tends to be the biggest challenge for any team, because remember, the engineer has to get there. Generally, he's going to be the first target of the enemy defense. The engineer gets up to that crypt, he has to drop his dynamite, arm it, and then you gotta wait your 30 seconds for the dynamite to blow up. With a crypt that's wide out in the open, I mean, there's absolutely no cover for this thing. And it's also, like, right there next to the Axis spawn point. It's a challenge for anybody, even the best engineer, even Paco, the world's greatest engineer, can't do it.
Looks like we're getting ready to go here, buddy. I hate to interrupt your little rant there, but one player waiting to start. Looking at the server, the pings are incredible.
Yes.
Everyone is in the 50s. Everyone, except for a couple members. Only one guy is higher than the 60s, and he's got an 85. So there's absolutely no difference in ping here, unless you want to split hairs on 81 being considerably higher than 55. And if you do, I'm going to punch you right in the face. So don't even bring it up. This is an even server. Both teams are ready to go here. Shout out to the boys at IU from Purple Rain and Purdue. Evidently, we're college material now. 9 seconds until we begin. Lineup for LQD: Casey Jones, Purple Rain, Spawn, Atomic Fish, Peccadillo, and Tsunami.
Okay. I was sitting there in IRC, man.
DT team.
DT.
Democ, Deca, Spec, Illumina, Rock, and Hollywood, a.k.a. Holly. We are now live. I am in the tavern, just floating around, waiting for the incoming Allied rush, which will commence any second now. I do not see any of the Axis setting up inside the tavern itself. Here comes the Allies. Rock, Illumina, Spec, Deca. In fact, 4 of them now. Airstrike being tossed, not going to be fast enough. Incoming tavern action. Tsunami taken out by Rock Thompson. DT Hollywood was killed by Atomic Fish. Atomic Fish Luger's Illumina. But the medics for the Allies are going nuts here, getting a lot of respawns. The Axis have held them back temporarily, now retreating into the wine cellar itself, trying to get back up. Ladder number 1. Sabo, back to you.
Okay, man. Rock right there was just dominating, but now we're going to watch Hollywood coming around towards the crypt. What's Holly? He's a medic. He is covered by DT Spec. DT Spec. Engineer goes down to LiQuiD. Hexa Ditlo's MP40 fire. DT Holly medic trying to revive his medic. Does so. DT Spec revives. Gets the plant at the crypt. We've got a red light in the back door of the crypt. It's taken away, and the Axis team is hard pressed to try and disarm it. Where is the Axis engineer? There is none. LQD spawn medic takes control of the area, but he is not an engineer. In fact, I don't see a single engineer. Dynamite taken away. That crypt is going to blow in no time, but it's not over yet. Why? Because the Allies will still have to pick the gold up and run it to the Allied truck. Justice, take it away.
Boom! There goes the crypt. The gold is now exposed to the elements, my friend. Incoming major Allied rush up the second ladder. It was just a cluster something I can't say on air. The documents have been taken now, the gold rather. It looks like Illumina. He is a lieutenant arming himself, getting himself a little bit of ammo. Hops down into that wine cellar, gets team killed to high hell from DT Rock for absolutely no reason. He's not a medic, so it's not like he's going for the revival, but there was a medic nearby, so that's been taken care of. Rock now has the documents. He's the glory seeker. He's going out into the courtyard now, Sabo. Pick up the action, buddy.
DT Rock leading the way. He's a lieutenant. Leading the way. That's a dangerous thing for the document carrier to do. He's dropping ammo left and right, but he's covered. No, he's not. LQD, Casey Jones, engineer, lets loose with the Panzerfaust, wipes out the Allied escort, and those documents get returned. Looks like Tsunami, the lieutenant, was there with the return of the gold, not documents, darn it. This is MP Village. First round of the first set, score 0-0. Again, if you're just joining us, Allied team, DeathTouch, Axis team, LQD. And right now, I'm watching in the tavern as LQD Spawn sits here setting up the defense, not seeing where the Allied DeathTouch team is. Justice, take it away.
All right, 6 minutes, 52 seconds left on the clock. The documents, the gold just sitting right in there in the crypt. The defense doing something kind of peculiar. They're not really defending the gold directly. They've kind of spread themselves out in a spiderweb sort of formation, just trying to break up any big groups of allies that they might come across. It looks like the forward deployment flag has been reclaimed by the Axis. Incoming ally, Hollywood, going to make a grab at the gold. He has it. He gets shot down from behind. Gold has been returned. Spawn coming up big for the LQD team, getting that kill and returning the gold here. More allies incoming now. Ladder number 1. The gold has been taken. Dropped, picked up again, and stuck in the crypt. Here we go. Here we go. Gold now in the wine cellar, engaging one-on-one. DT Holly versus Tsunami. Holly drops a grenade, misses. Tsunami comes out on top and returns the gold. Great scrambling defense by the LQD team, able to recover after a very strong rush by the Allied DeathTouch team. But now Rock has the gold. He's now looking down ladder number 2. Now he's going to go down. He's being chased by Atomic Fish. And LQD, Atomic Fish lands right on his head and shoots down through his little hat there and returns the gold. Sabo?
Well, man, what was that all about? He picked up the documents, made his way to the ladder. He was looking down, stood there for what felt like an eternity, long enough for an Axis member to come right up behind him. While that gold carrier went down the ladder for Team DeathTouch, an Axis LiQuiD member just shot right down on top of his head. Gold got dropped in no time. Right now, looking in the cemetery area, absolutely nothing. Whoa, no, we've got a bit of an artillery strike getting called right here. Axis artillery strike, but there's nobody from the Allied team right here. Purple Rain for Team LiQuiD. Axis team setting up a slight defense around the... what is this? The crypt, where the gold is stashed, but the Allies now making their offense, coming up the ladder closest to the crypt. DT, Hollywood, and Spec making their way forward. DT Rock going to lead the way, try to pick up the gold, goes down. Hollywood then picks it up. As soon as he touches that gold, though, MP40 fire shoots him in the back, and he goes down. DT Rock now, boom, takes a grenade into his face. Comes from Casey Jones. Casey Jones for Team LiQuiD. Saving the day right there. Gold remains safe and secure in the crypt. 4 minutes, 23 seconds remaining. Justice, take it away.
Axis have respawned now, getting their defense set up back around the crypt. There was one Allied member. Here they come. Deca and Spec. DeathTouch now incoming. Deca gets taken out by Atomic Fish's MP40. There was a quick grab of the gold that has been returned. Incoming medics with DeathTouch, reviving Deca. Deca and Democ now near ladder number 2. Oh. Gold has been taken and dropped, It's sitting outside now by the steps right near the graveyard. Here comes Democ. He's picked it up. He's now going to go down ladder number 2. He's in the wine cellar. I don't see any Axis now following him up into the courtyard near the forward deployment flag. He's now making his way into the tavern. No one in sight, not for DeathTouch or LiQuiD, so he's all by himself. Now he waits up momentarily to meet up with Spec and get himself a little bit of an entourage as he moves through the outside courtyard, making his way towards the Allied truck. Sabo, pick it up.
Okay, I'm looking at Spec right now, leading the way. He's running left and right, trying to cover his teammates, but buddy, document carrier, DT Democ is going to get jumped right here. In fact, no, his cover is battling it out for him. DT Democ going to kind of fall back. Now he's making his way towards the Allied truck. No, he goes into the corner and hides. He does not want to go down. Boom, a rogue sounder fires off on me. DT Democ still hiding in a little corner. He sees LiQuiD spawn, a medic, trying to take him down. Boom! Gunfire in the face of Demok. Demok stays alive. He's a medic. Drops the medic packs in front of him. Staying alive. Moving forward this time. Revives his teammate, Deca, and hides. Deca then goes trying to clear the path, and we've got a little bit of a battle. Deca versus all of Team LiQuiD right here. Demok gonna make the mad dash. Shot in the back. Staying alive. Boom! Explosion takes him down, and Tsunami returns the gold. Justice, what just happened?
Great job. Well, it was just a big airstrike, a big artillery strike there. Took out the gold carrier. Demok had made a pretty good run there for a while. He seemed to be in control of the documents. Everything was going his way. There were some axes out and about, but all in all, I thought the Allies had a good amount of momentum on that last push. But as he went down the home stretch, just some spam took him out, slowed things down, gummed up the works, and the Axis were able to swoop down, get a couple of kills, and return the gold. Now moving back up towards the crypt. I don't see anyone in sight. That means the gold is out, buddy. If you have the action, take it away.
Unfortunately, I don't. We do know that TG Hollywood has the gold, and we got a little bit of a battle going on right here. Hollywood in the thick of it, taking out LQD, Atomic Fish. 3 members of LQD go down. DeathTouch dominating, making their way towards the Allied truck, buddy. I don't see the action, but I'm reading it, and the documents are, the gold is still in possession of DT Hollywood right here. Deca moving to intercept.
Here it comes, I've got it. The 10, the 5, the 4, and it's in! Allies have escaped with the gold. 8 minutes, 40 seconds. Wow. Great push there at the end. I didn't see it. Everyone who's going to be watching this on DemoCast is going to start swearing at me for missing the action. Yeah. But I didn't hear the gold being taken. You know, sometimes you're so far away, or for whatever reason, you just don't hear those warning signs. However, that was a very long time. 8 minutes and 40 seconds out of 10. You know, it's almost an eternity, and it's...
Yes.
Especially considering, Sabo, that they blew the crypt so early. That was ridiculous. I mean, that was down in like a minute flat.
It was like the very first offensive.
First rush.
Yeah, first rush. Yeah, that was gone.
Yeah, and it took them that long after the... Like, what scares me is if LQD can prevent them from blowing the crypt, you know, maybe even 2 or 3 minutes, then we'd be talking about a tie right here, because it took them a good 6.5 or 7 minutes to get the gold from the crypt to the truck, and that is just a ridiculous amount of time on this map.
Yeah. Well, you know, I guess we should give a quick shout-out to our friends at Wolf TV. I noticed that they've apparently resolved their issues with the new point release, and you should check them out. I think they're Pound GTV in irc.gamesnet.com. And you can actually tune in and watch it live. You're probably going to have to kind of pause the cast to sync it up for a little bit. So wait until we say something, like the time right now is on the clock, because right here, Purple Rain leading Sabo here. Me, I lag out.
All right, well, here comes the Allied team looking around for him. I'm at the crypt itself. DeathTouch has about 5 members throughout the crypt. They have a Demok and Hollywood. They're in the graveyard itself. Then they've got Nail and Rock guarding ladder number 2. They also have Deca. He's a medic. He's near the table right behind the crypt. Incoming Allied airstrike does not connect with anyone, but Purple Rain kills himself. Tsunami kills himself, evidently to respawn at the forward deployment flag, which I assume has already been grabbed. Now there's a little bit of cat and mouse with grenades being tossed up ladder number 1. DT Holly is there looking straight down at it. He does not get taken out, doing a good job positioning himself so as to avoid that. Swooping down inside here, looks like we're going to have a rush up ladder number 1. Here come the Allies, but a Hollywood MP40ing Purple Rain. Purple Rain gets knocked down. Atomic Fish and Spawn, however, is still alive. Coming out of radar number 1 now, or excuse me, ladder number 1 into the graveyard, getting mown down. Demok on the MG42 takes out Atomic Fish. Spawn falls to Illumina's MP40, and the Axis reigns supreme. Sabo, back to you.
Here comes another push. Team LiQuID Allied team making their way up the ladder number 2, the one closest to the crypt, but I'm not seeing a single living medic. In fact, it was... No! Here comes Engineer Purple Rain. But, you know, he goes down to DT Demok's gunfire just as soon as he comes out of that little nook near ladder number 2. A piece of dynamite has been planted, not with the intention to blow up the crypt. Team DeathTouch, Axis team planted it here by the ladder. It's going to blow up, not taking out any members of the offending allied LiQuiD team. LiQuiD going to have to regroup and launch another assault. Now swooping down here into the Vine Cellar. I see nothing. Justice, where'd the allies go?
I have no idea. I'm just waiting around by the crypt. Going to do a quick shout out here because I'm getting PM'd. X Rice saying this is Clan Exodus' server, so we got to give them some props for providing such a great server. Also, Morty Quantum Flux giving a shout out to VIB for a great match last night, and a shout out to Sabo and Justice for casting it. Back to the action. Allies are just now incoming. Airstrike being tossed near the crypt. Does not connect with anyone. LQD is killed, however, by DT Hollywood and DT Rock. They're doing a great job covering those ladders. More action out in the graveyard itself. Some allies popped out, were taken down. Demog with a long-range MP40 fire, doing a great job near that crew-served MG42. DT Nail, the engineer for the DeathTouch team, on the Axis, planting a dummy dynamite outside of ladder number 2 in the hopes that it would, randomly kill one of the allies should they choose to attack at the appropriate time. Incoming LQD Tsunami, he's engaging, looks like Nail takes Nail out. He's roaming around near the crypt now, going a little freestyle, doing a little deathmatch action here. No engineers in sight. Medics keep running out. LQD coming out in onesies and twosies. DT standing tall, however, and not giving an inch. Their medics are doing a great job. And now we have a little bit of action as yellow light gets down on the crypt. Axis all over it, however, and that engineer is not going to be able to stay alive.
Yes, he will.
Sabo, he will, but it's not going to get planted.
Did you see what he did? Did you see what he did?
Tell me about it.
LQD, Purple Rain, he comes out, he drops the dynamite, and while he's switching to his players, he plays Ring Around the Rosie. He ran in a whole circle around the crypt so that all the dumb Axis members of Team DeathTouch, they're shooting around, shooting each other, trying to figure out where the heck this guy went. He runs around the crypt, comes back the other side, gets to work on arming that dynamite, but is unable to do it. Now we got Purple Rain again in the back this time. He's got a plant, buddy. 4 minutes, 10 seconds on the clock, and we have a red light right here at the crypt thanks to Purple Rain. It looks like the allied team is still in control. Team LiQuiD right here. DeathTouch Holly. Medic comes around, getting into a little bit of fight. He reclaims control of the crypt, but he's a medic, not an engineer. In fact, I see no engineers. This crypt, buddy, is just about to blow. Dynamite ticking away faster and faster with each pulse of the clock. And with 3 minutes, 45 seconds remaining on the clock, boom! The crypt goes down, and the objective is picked up by LQD. Casey Jones, he drops down the chute into the Vine Cellar and makes his way up that staircase. He runs into the bar room, or whatever you want to call this thing, and is running. He's covered by LQD. Atomic Fish, allied team with the documents. Justice, take it away.
All right, moving now outside. Oh, he decided to fall back. Now he's going. Little in and out action there. Casey Jones, he's got the documents. He's a lieutenant engaging inside the courtyard towards the, well, I don't even know where that is. There's not actually a specific name for it. Needless to say, it's a one-on-one battle. Casey Jones comes out on top, ran headlong into DT Rock. Rock was unable to kill him, and Casey Jones lost his hat, but regained control of the gold. Gold is now down. It's lying there, and it has been returned. 2 minutes, 48 seconds. Deca from the DeathTouch team coming up big in the clutch there to return the valuable gold. An interesting thing, Sabo, as we wait for the teams to get back into the action.
Yes.
Why is this particular 3 bars of gold so damn valuable to the Allies?
That's a good question. You'd think that with the military might of England, France, and the United States, they'd have enough money to finance their war, don't you think? But no, we have to steal the gold from the Axis because we're poor.
Not only that, but we have to rob a grave for it. That's not cool.
That's right.
The gold was momentarily picked up, for those of you listening, and has been returned. That's why we weren't talking about it. And on this kind of a map, it's going to go up and down all the time. It's just teams or players go in there, touch it momentarily right before they get killed, goes down, and so if we start talking and it gets touched and dropped. Don't worry about it. If something really serious happens, we'll let you know. Incoming allies now attacking from radar. I keep saying radar. Ladder number 2, Atomic Fish, the medic. He is alone. He's going to be facing off against a couple members of the DeathTouch defense. Hops towards the crypt. He's now got the gold. Picks it up. He's inside getting cover as airstrikes fall all around the crypt itself. He's still in there. He's still got the gold. Takes out a couple members. Here comes LQD. They just massacred the DeathTouch defense. He's now moving through the graveyard. Looks like he's thinking about going through the Axis spawn. Sabo.
Oh, it's suicide, buddy. He's covered by Peccadillo. And boom, Atomic Fish gets a roundabout in the face. That thing came from TT Nail. And the bars of gold get returned as the Axis team spawns. Yeah, don't run past that Axis spawn point when they're coming in. You know, the Panzerfaust.
Well, and especially with 40 seconds. I mean, look at the time on the clock. They don't have enough time for another rush. I mean, it's going to be really close. That was their last chance. They had a minute 30, and you know, they could have gone the long way and just taken their time, done it right. And you know, instead they decided to go for a risk. They decided to take a risk. And it's gonna hurt them here in the long run. You know, we can talk about what might have been. LQD's Purple Rain has it. He's gonna have to go through the nope. Panzerfaust, DT Hollywood. Wolves return. 22 seconds left on the clock. Game is over.
Or at least set 1 is over for sure. Team LiQuiD not going to be able to do this within the next 10 seconds. A couple members of the Allied team running towards the graveyard, going down, falling to their new, freshly dug graves. 1 second, 0 second, boom! Allied team could not beat the clock. LQD does not get the point. It is now 1-0. The Tauntaun is upset, my friend. 1-0 in favor of Team DeathTouch. Justice, what just happened?
Well, looking at the statistics, my friend, it looks like DeathTouch happened. 57% efficiency as a team. Only 43% for the LQD. We saw closer numbers in DeathTouch's last 2 matches, so LQD a little slow to warm up here tonight, but it's only the first set, and we're not going to begrudge them just yet, though they do need to get shaped up here in a hurry, because DeathTouch does not like to lose the lead. In fact, I don't think that we've ever seen them lose the lead. Once these guys get up on you, it's almost impossible to make a comeback. That being said, looking at the top performers, 66% for Democ from the DeathTouch team. He had 14 kills and 7 deaths. For LQD, only 2 members above 1-to-1 ratio. 53% efficiency for LQD Spawn. He had 16 kills and 14 deaths. We're waiting on 7 players to ready up. I'm assuming the LQD team is just going to take a moment here and talk about what their offense needs to do as they head into round number 1 of set number 2.
Well, that's right. Again, if you're just joining us, this is TSN Sabo. That was Justice talking a moment ago. We are covering the semifinal round in the 3rd season of the Cal Main playoffs. Right here. The winner of this match is going to go on to the final round where they will face Team Narf. And, buddy, Team Narf, they've really been outstanding this season. We never really expected them to come out this far, to come out as well as they have. In fact, I think Narf is the only undefeated team on the bracket so far, aren't they?
I believe.
Yeah.
I think Narf took 1 loss. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I think they took a loss recently.
Either way, they've got an outstanding record and could quite possibly
no question about it.
The best record so far. And I really can't wait to see who goes on and then the results of that battle. That will not be happening next Thursday due to Thanksgiving. But, Justice, the action, the battle for the gold is already underway. Looking at LQD Tsunami running through the tavern, gonna get shot in the face by Deca. Goes down. Deca, then, oh man, he goes down. He's backed up by TT Rock. Battle in the tavern. Who's gonna come out on top? Well, looks like DeathTouch actually doing a great job of dominating right in here. Axis team in control. Again, DeathTouch, the Axis team, trying to hold out as long as they can while LQD trying to set the clock by stealing the gold in no time flat. But looks like they're going to get stopped right here in the tavern. Justice, where's that Allied offense?
All right, well, I'm swinging back through the courtyard, just trying to find it. Here, nope. Here they come. Hollywood lets loose the Panzerfaust, kills himself, kills Purple Rain. The Allies are now encroaching on the tavern courtyard. Here comes Casey Jones. He's a Panzer. He's got his pistol out right now, but he's going to let loose the rocket of death here in just a second or two. Airstrike being tossed out in that tavern courtyard, trying to kill off any Allies incoming. Tsunami tries to rush in all by himself and gets mown down easily by Rock's MP40. Drops his hat, does not drop the dynamite that was primed. Casey Jones lets loose, takes out Illumina, but Hollywood came from behind and took out Atomic Fish and Picadillo. The medics, however, Spawn getting back there, getting busy, revives Atomic Fish. They're now moving through the tavern. Spawn takes out one member of the DT Axis defense en route to the forward deployment flag. Looks like he was about to be grabbed, but Deca came up big and stopped him, hit him from behind after reviving a DeathTouch teammate. So now DT still regains control of the forward deployment flag. There are no allies inside the tavern. They've cleared it out. And Sabo, back to you.
Well, you know, this is rather odd. We're seeing two things that you generally do not see defensively here on MP Village. For one, DeathTouch is doing most of their defense in the tavern, which is a really awkward, confusing structure, which is very difficult to coordinate your team in. And also, we're seeing DeathTouch use Panzerfaust big time in these closed, confined spaces, which ordinarily is sheer suicide. DT doing the no-nos, but being pretty darn successful here in the tavern at it. 7 minutes on the clock right now. DT Illumina. Lloyd is just kind of standing around in the tavern, gonna get jumped by Spawn, a medic. Spawn, he takes Illumina down. He's gonna drop a medic pack in front of him and make his way down towards the room with the staircase, dropping down to the wine cellar. I thought I could find some allied members here, but I do not. Instead, I see DT, Democ, and Deca hiding away, holding their position. Spawn's going to come up the ladder closest to the crypt, but goes down as soon as his hand touches it. DT dominating clearly so far tonight. Scores 1-0 in favor of DeathTouch, and we shall see if LiQuiD has any more fire, any more spunk to their step. Justice, take it away.
All right, the Allies rush now. They're in the wine cellar, getting mown down by a Venom. Looks like DeathTouch Hollywood switched from Panzer to Venom. He's now covering ladder number 1 with the Venom. Just keeps killing Casey Jones over and over and over again. Finally, LQD takes out the Venom. The ladder number 1 is now open. Ladder number 2 is still covered, however, as DT Nail tosses a dummy Axis dynamite there in the hopes of killing any allies that just happen to run by at the right time. Incoming medic Picadillo. He's at the base of ladder number 2. He resurrects Purple Rain. Purple Rain then tosses his airstrike canister up the ladder, follows it closely behind, and it looks like a lot of team killing, and Purple Rain obliterates himself. LQD Spawn, however, for the medic, he is a medic on the LQD team. He was still alive. He got back behind the crypts, but gets taken out quickly by Nail's MP40. He ran headlong into 2 members of the Axis defense, and that ain't good. Sabo, back to you.
Well, this may be the first time that I've seen LiQuiD with an engineer up here. Purple Rain making his way forward towards the crypt. Mind you, the crypt with 5 minutes and 5 seconds on the clock has still not been blown away. And Purple Rain, just as he goes to drop the dynamite, immediately goes down. Medics on their way, trying to revive him. Do so. LiQuiD, Purple Rain allied team, plants the dynamite. It's good to go. Where are the engineers of the Axis DeathTouch team? Nowhere to be found. Dynamite still ticking away. Light here. Medics of Nail. He's an engineer. Whips the players out, and looks like he is definitely not going to get the disarm. We had some support fire being called by Tsunami. Boom, artillery strike. Nails Nail in the face. He goes down. Kaboom! The dynamite explodes. Crypt has been blown open. 4 minutes, 21 seconds on the clock. LiQuiD, Atomic Fish for the Allies, grabs the gold and makes his way down into the wine cellar. Justice, take it away.
All right, well, he's got quite a massive entourage following him now. Atomic Fish instead going up ladder number 1. Looks like he's going to go for the spawn. Now he's changing his mind and goes back down. Good for him. I don't know what that was all about, but we don't want to make the same mistake twice now, do we, Sabo? LQD, of course, messing up in round 2 of set number 1 when they decided to go spawn instead of taking it the long way and missed out on their opportunity to snatch a point away from DeathTouch. Atomic Fish still has control of the gold, now moving out towards the courtyard areas. DT Rock chasing him back inside the corridors. Rock goes down. Picadillo and Atomic Fish closing in on him from either side, but here comes more DeathTouch. DeathTouch Illumina returns the gold! Oh, Doctor! Ran right in there, ran right past one of the LQD entourage members. He sort of just stepped aside, let him go right past him. Here, go return the gold. We don't care. Evidently, these guys are supremely confident. Otherwise, they're in trouble. LQD Spawn grabs the gold momentarily, gets Panzerfausted by mail. Back to you, Sabo.
Well, Demok then runs over that gold, returning it to the crypt, where it is now safe and secured. To give you the quick rundown, what's going on? 1-0 is the score. This is Cal Maine. Cal Maine, semi-final round, DeathTouch versus Team LiQuiD right here. We are in the first round of the second set. 2 minutes, 40 seconds remain on the clock. LiQuiD has blown the crypt open. The gold is just sitting here waiting to be taken away. And, let's see here. Our allies apparently just now capturing the northwest courtyard, claiming that forward spawn point. I'm watching by the ladder closest to the gold, waiting for the allied team LiQuiD to come up. Boom, DT Rock also doing the same thing. He shoots his guns down, clearing the ladder. Purple Rain, Lieutenant for the allied team, gonna come up that ladder, make his way out of the little nook. Boom, DT Nail, Rock, and Deca all right there, waiting for him. Objective, however, has been picked up, doesn't go anywhere. Boom, goes down instantly. Now Spawn, the allied team picks the gold up immediately, goes down. LiQuiD, they're making a lot of brief touches, but they're going down right there in the crypt, not even stepping out the door. Justice, it does not look good for Team LiQuiD.
It does not look good because they're just going kamikaze at the gold as if it's Team Fortress and, it can't be returned or something. They're running right at it, and they're sort of ignoring the 4 members of DeathTouch shooting at them until after they grab the gold itself. Rather than do this, I'd like to see them group up in 2s or 3s there and, take out the defense before going for the objective. That's the way to be successful here. 1 minute, 17 seconds left on the clock. Time is slowly slipping away from the LQD Hope. Awful. Can't talk. Must regain composure. All right. Incoming allies. Up ladder number 2. Lots of spam, and Atomic Fish falls to Illumina's grenade. Sabo, back to you.
Well, buddy, things have quieted down up here near the crypt. 51 seconds remaining. And LiQuiD, here they come. Here comes a big rush. Objective picked up by LiQuiD Spawn. But the objective gets returned in no time. This time, the entire LiQuiD allied team is together. But Justice, what are they doing? They're running through the graveyard. Looks like they're going to try and make it to the Axis spawn point. We saw how bad that could be.
And well, they have.
Boom! Oh, sorry, buddy. DT Nail. Panzerfausting practically the entire team. Daisy Jones tries to make it alone. Goes down to Deca's gunfire. 20 seconds on the clock. Justice. It's not going to happen.
Well, they had to try and go through the spawn just because they didn't have enough time to go anywhere else. Unfortunately, lots of Panzerfaust just like that one. DT Hollywood taking out 3 members of LQD. Of course, now it doesn't really matter because they don't have enough time to get the gold all the way back to the truck regardless. So the clock is now set to 10 minutes. DeathTouch is going to have the entire time to go on offense and get the job done here in round 2 of set number 2. If they can do that, the score would then be 2-0 in favor of DeathTouch. If they fail to do that and LiQuiD can return the favor and hold DT the entire 10 minutes, then we would still be at a 1-1 stalemate as ties equal 0 now this season of Cal. A little bit different than last, but I like the change much better myself.
Yes.
Sabo, waiting on 7 players here. Everyone's on the server. Pings are looking great.
Equal.
Good times, buddy.
Equal down the line. Almost everybody at a ping of 50 right here, which is outstanding. That's almost undetectable right here. Quick, I want to give a quick shout out right here because I'm getting private message to death. Trust Kill from GAT wants a shout out to Arachnid, saying that his sister's hot. Rapier Saint says that Rice is a noob for wanting a shout out. Wow, I've got the private messages. Blaz tells Justice There's always MP Tram. Yeah, that is definitely the worst map, isn't it? Could you imagine?
It's true.
And finally, Dorito from Narf. So he's just giving me information. So, anyways, in the server, match is underway. Right here, Justice. Take it away.
Incoming Allied rush now outside the tavern courtyard. They're now engaging the tavern itself, holding up, pausing. Now they're rushing. Medics are going first for some reason. Following DT Hollywood, he runs headlong into Atomic Fish, and Atomic Fish takes him out. Hollywood, however, is going to be revived. Atomic Fish whips out the Luger, then gets owned by Illumina. Illumina and his Thompson, this Allied rush just bowled over LQD. They've captured the forward deployment spawn. Going to be moving up through the cellar now. This could be another very, very quick cellar plant here, because DT is just everywhere, and only one member of LQD is back there to defend the crypt.
There's the engineer. The engineer dropping the dynamite, and it's another ring around the posy thing. Back to doing it. Drops the dynamite, runs around the crypt, comes back to the dynamite, and arms it. I guess that's just the way these kids are playing it now. What do you think? 8 minutes, 40 seconds on the clock. The dynamite is red, and DeathTouch, Allied team, is dominating. That makes Allied Tauntaun very, very happy, buddy. Dynamite taken away. It's going to blow one way or another. It is too late for any engineer to disarm it. Tick-tock, tick-tock on the clock. Boom! There goes the crypt. And at the same time, DT Holly says, there goes. Team LiQuiD unleashes with the Panzerfaust, wiping members out left and right, but the objective has been taken. Justice, if you've got the action, take it away.
DT Democ, he's a medic. He's got the gold. He's running through the wine cellar itself now, getting a little bit of ammo dropped for him by DT Illumina, who obviously is a lieutenant. Now moving through the tavern itself, going to be coming out upon the tavern courtyard any second now. Looking around, don't see any of the Axis. This is a good place to have some Ninja Panzers lying in wait. Rock's artillery support taking out Picadillo and Atomic Fish somewhere across the map. The three-man gold team here, led by Democ, who has the gold presently, now encroaching on the final stretch. Looks like a DT team has it well under control. If they hustle here, they should be able to get this back. Here comes a couple of allies, tossing grenades, takes himself out, takes one member of DT, but not the right member, as Democ now at the original Allied spawn. He's got the gold, hopping it straight up, now going to be circling around to the Allied truck. He's going to get it home, no question about it. Allies win, clock. Objective was reached at 2:52. They had the full 10 minutes, only needed a quarter of it to get the job done there. Overpowering offense by the DeathTouch team.
Wow, that was impressive. Scores now 2-0 in favor of Team DeathTouch right here. And what did we see? We saw right up at the beginning, Team DeathTouch, they came in, they ran into the opposition of Team LiQuiD, and just ran over them. They pummeled them in the tavern. The LiQuiD team was just gone, waiting on the respawn as DeathTouch came out on top into the, up towards the crypts. They planted the dynamite, blew it open in no time flat. They scuffled around just a little bit with the gold, but seriously made a clean sweep, almost, all the way back to their Allied truck. Beating the clock, which was not set by Team LiQuiD, making it 2-0. Justice, you got the stats, buddy. What's happening?
And things are worse now because DeathTouch is actually increasing their efficiency. 63% as a team, only 37% for LQD. Not looking good for LQD here. We thought maybe in set 1 they were just a little bit cold, a little unprepared. But after set 2, it's only getting worse. Looking at the top performers, my friends, 66% for DT Hollywood, 26 kills, 13 deaths. On the flip side, a couple of members of LQD have 43%. That would be Purple Rain and Spawn. So, not looking that good. Casey Jones, only 40% efficiency. That's not too bad. But Picadillo, 5 kills, 16 deaths. Might be time to look for a substitute. Looks like he's just having a bad night.
Yes, indeed. Here comes the Allied offense. DeathTouch going to be trying to set the clock as fast as they can, while LiQuiD on the Axis team playing on the defense. We saw them not do the most spectacular job last time around, but now in the tavern, it looks like they've got it together. They're hiding behind the doors and stuff and just wiping out members of DeathTouch left and right as they come filing through the door in single file fashion. But now DeathTouch is in the tavern, dominating, rushing through towards that staircase into the wine cellar. DeathTouch now, almost the entire team intact, drops down the hole in the floor, hits the wine cellar, and is going to kind of make their way up towards the top level, trying to get that plant. Justin, take it away.
All right, there's only one member of LQD back there. He's a medic. His name is Spawn. He's at the top of ladder number 2, engaging a 3-on-1 situation. Booyah! Casey Jones' Panzerfaust takes out Rock, and Deca also kills Spawn, but Spawn was about to go down anyway, so no big loss there. Yellow light on the crypt. It's being heavily defended, or guarded, excuse me, by the LQD team, so it's not going to be completed as it slowly dims out to nothingness. LQD remains in control. Spawn is back up on top of ladder number 2. Allies team snuck around DT Hollywood. He's a medic. He's behind the crypt. Not going to do much, however. He is. Thompson takes out Atomic Fish. We thought he was going to get killed easily, but in a 2-on-1 situation, he manages to take out one member of LQD before getting spammed. LQD still in control of the crypt, albeit not by much, as the DT team now rushing out of ladder number 1. Got a yellow light down. DT trying to kill the engineers. Not going to happen. Going to get revived. Sabo, take it away.
That's it. Right there. DT spec coming in with the full brunt of the DeathTouch Allied offensive. Gets the red light at the crypt. And DT is just dominating right here. Ooh, a little bit of team killing happening on both sides right there. DT spec taking out DT Deca. LQD Purple Rain taking Tsunami out right there. Anyways, Crypt is going to go down. No engineers in sight for the Axis LiQuiD team. They're going to have to try and back down to phase 2 of their defensive plan now that that crypt has been blown open. LiQuiD members now falling back to the graveyard near the crypt, awaiting the next onslaught of the DeathTouch Allied offensive. Where are they? I'm going to dip down into the wine cellar, and I do not see any of those American flags on their shoulders, which means no allies are down here. 7 minutes on the clock. Justice, take it away.
All right, well, I'm just swinging back by the spawn wrap to see if they were trying to switch things up. LQD's defense looked like they were about to get owned early on. They keep sticking with the same plan, which is to try to defend the tavern. Has not worked out for them whatsoever, but luckily they managed to regain control of themselves, get back into the game, and you know, the crypt is down, but LQD does have a number of defenders now set up around it and around the gold. We know how long it took DeathTouch to capture the gold in round number 1. So LQD is definitely capable of defending it even when it's blown open. But now DeathTouch has all of the momentum. We're having some touches, we're having some drops. Lots of team kills. Tsunami and Purple Rain were both killed by Atomic Fish. And that's not good because he's on their team. The gold is now grabbed. It's in this wine cellar itself. It's DT Illumina who has it. He's a lieutenant, Sabo. Now moving past the forward deployment flag. He's through the courtyard into... What was that? Oh, okay, not that big of a deal. To mock team killing, to grab the gold and heal his fallen team rad. Once again, making up words here for you tonight on TSN. Sabo, back to you.
Well, Demok's leading the way, and he's going to run into a flurry of gunfire, get into a one-on-one situation with Tsunami. Then Spawn comes in behind him. LiQuiD going to get the return right there. Spawn and Tsunami just outnumbering Demok right there, 2-1. Demok, who had the gold, then lost it. Gold now safe and secure in the crypt as LQD members left and right go rushing back down. They're unable to reestablish their defense when DeathTouch launches their next offensive. Objective has been picked up, but the second it's touched, it goes down. Now LiQuiD starting to center their defense. Well, not that much. They've got 2 people right here in the graveyard near the crypt with 1 minute 55 seconds remaining. Now they're starting to fall back a little bit more down by the crypt. They know that they have to outnumber DeathTouch here because this is in this one area. This is where Team DeathTouch comes out. 4, 5 people up here by the objective, And compared to the Axis LiQuiD 2, that's just not going to work. Allied team always picks it up and makes some pretty good headway. 4 minutes, 28 seconds on the clock at the moment. Ow! Panzerfaust coming from LQD. Casey Jones, Spec, and Illumina go down for Team DeathTouch. That's going to hurt them. DeathTouch down by 2 members right now, but still no action at the crypt. Back to you.
Crypt has been art striked here by the Axis team. It's all red smoke, just trying to prevent any allies from getting in there and grabbing the gold. Looks like the allies have just regained the forward deployment flag. They're in the cellar. They're now attacking up ladder number 2. Holly and Deca getting busy, taking out Casey Jones and Tsunami, respectively. Support fire by DT Rock, leveling Atomic Fish from the LQD team. Now the allies are all over the crypt. Looks like they're going to have 3 men to get that gold back and move it down ladder number 2 into the wine cellar. A couple of LQD defenders are chasing, hot on their heels. Purple Rain was right behind him, but gets eventually taken out by Illumina's MP40. DeathTouch Deca has the documents. I'm following him. The gold even, with 3 bars of measly gold. He's got it inside the tavern, waiting. Now he advances, moving outside the courtyard into the main open courtyard that has no name, towards the Allied truck. He hears some gunfire, holds him up a little bit. This is a very hard spot to be in. He's now making his way towards the alley. He's at the 10, ducks inside the house, heals himself. Gonna go around towards the original Allied spawn. Looks like it could be clear. He is going. Here's the truck. Here it is, and booyah!
Allies win.
7 minutes, 9 seconds on the clock.
Well, that's an improvement from DT's last plant, or last capture in the first round. 8:40, that's what, 7 minutes, 9 seconds right there. The time to beat for Team LiQuiD. Mind you, they have not been able to do it in any amount of time so far. So the momentum is indeed with Team DeathTouch right here. Scores 2-0. Now, if LiQuiD cannot do this right here, it's going to be game is over. DT moves on. LQD go home. But as we have seen many a time in Season 3 of the Cal Main playoffs, anything can happen. We saw that one match. No, that was Cal O match. The 82nd down 2-0. It was looking like they were going to go down big time, but they came back and won the game right there versus Team Ecstasy. The same could very well happen with Team LiQuiD here tonight. Justice, you got the stats, so I'm going to toss it back to you.
All right, things looking a little bit brighter for LQD as they out-frag DeathTouch. 52% efficiency for LQD, 47% for the DeathTouch team here in set number 3, round number 1. Looks like the top performers, 70% for Casey Jones. He had the Panzerfaust, 12 kills, 5 deaths. On the flip side, my friend, 59% for DT Rock, 13 kills, 9 deaths himself. So finally, LQD looks alive. They're going to have a decent amount of time here on the clock to try to get a point here. They don't want to go down 3-0. So to get themselves back in the game, they're going to have to come up big right now. We are live, Sabo. Why don't you start us off?
Yes, sir. You're listening to Defense Sabo and Justice. Cal Main return to Castle Wolfenstein coverage on the TSN, your team sportscast network. 6 minutes, 45 seconds on the clock for Team LiQuiD, Allied team, to steal the gold right here in MP Village in the semifinal round of the Cal playoffs, Cal Main playoffs. Looking in the tavern right now, we have not seen a single death happen so far. Action is very quiet, Justice. Axis team not in the wine cellar. Not a kill made thus far. Boom, there we go. There's the action. Dynamite taken. Oh, Dynamite taken. LiQuiD members down left and right. I lied to ya. Oh, buddy. Here it comes. Apparently, the Allied team confused me, heading over towards the Axis spawn point. An unlikely thing. I'm looking at LQD. Casey Jones doing a little bit of spawn capping. He's a soldier. He is hiding in the Axis spawn point as an Allied soldier with the Panzerfaust. We're going to see a major kill in just a second, Justice. 5 minutes, 50 seconds on the clock. I'm anxious. No, DeathTouch. Hollywood sees him there. Shoots and takes him down. Denies it.
How does that work? How did he know he was there?
I don't
know about that. He wasn't moving.
Kind of fishy.
I guess maybe if his corpse had been on the ground and he'd been killed there, then he would be able to see the Panzer. Otherwise, something fishy going on there as Hollywood makes a beeline to the obviously hidden Casey Jones. Incoming Allied team now engaging at the cellar area. They're down at the base of ladder number 1. They're going to make their push now. Here they come. Hollywood taking out Purple Rain. And Casey Jones following behind him, going to shoot up at Hollywood. Does not connect. Purple Rain support fire. Takes out Nail and Deca of DeathTouch. LQD spawn now behind the crypt, engaging in a one-on-one with Rock. Takes down Rock. LQD looks like they're going to get the plant here as we have a yellow light and a lot of defenders. Oh, no, the engineer taken out. Quickly revived. We'll see what happens. The action is live here. It's been planted. We have a red light on the crypt. 4 minutes, 45 seconds left on the clock. Plenty of time. Here comes the Axis, however. They don't have an engineer, but they've just respawned and are engaging. 2 plants. It's a dual plant. Sabo, take it away, buddy.
Purple Rain right there coming by, setting another piece of dynamite to ensure that this crypt is going down. The crypt is sitting there getting ready to blow away. LQD Peccadillo standing right here as a lot of the members of LQD now killing themselves, going for the spawn. Boom! The first piece of dynamite goes, opening the doorway, and LQD Purple Rain grabs those bars of gold. He's on his way. Uh-oh. LQD looks like they're going to be making their way towards the Axis spawn, buddy. That might be bad.
Why?
The entire team.
Don't do that.
The entire team clustered together, making their way there. They're taking their time, too. That's bad, because if they take their time, that increases their chances that the Axis team will spawn. Here they come. LQD just in time for DT Nail to unleash with the Panzer Faust. The document still in possession of LQD Purple Rain. Purple Rain, however, I've lost him. Justice, where is he? Take it away.
I've got him. He's now inside the forward deployment courtyard there, moving into the tavern. He's hauling ass, sprinting and bunny hopping and jumping his way through the outside courtyard of the tavern, going out into the main open courtyard. Now waiting, slowing down. Now he's going to go for it. Does not see any access. There's one. Oh, takes him out. No, it's a one-on-one. Gets taken out. It's a mock. No. Deca, the medic from DeathTouch, returns the gold in a one-on-one situation. It was very close, and that could have been it. That could have been what they were waiting for, but instead, Deca coming up big in the clutch, my friend.
Yes.
However,
now we have
the objectives have just been grabbed, Sabo. Take it away.
Well, that was Casey Jones picking the objective up. He's making his way, trying to get down into the cellar. He's
going to run into an Axis.
Oh, that's not good. He gets into a little bit of a duel right there. Justice, I'm not seeing this. Take it away.
Well, I don't know where the gold is. I assume they must have tried to push it out. It's been returned. They went spawn way. Why? Don't go spawn way. It's round 2. You have 2 minutes on the clock. There's no time crunch. Jeez, guys.
Justice, you see what they're trying to do, or at least what they almost successfully accomplished there, LiQuiD, the Allied team. They sent the brunt of their team spawn way, and the document carrier kind of ran that way, then turned around and went back to the tavern. He kind of ran all alone through the tavern and tricked the Axis defending DeathTouch team into following the full force. So the guy, he was all alone, which is very dangerous, but he had a clear shot. Nobody except Deca intercepting him, and unfortunately that Allied document carrier, or gold carrier, could not win the one-on-one versus Deca, and Deca came out a hero. Saving
1 minute.
Saving the round.
1 minute, 43 seconds left on the clock. Airstrike at the crypt. Allies are going to be coming from the cellar itself now. LQD Purple Rain, he's the lieutenant. He's up ladder number 2. Decides to go back down. No, he's going out. Big support fire by Casey Jones. Takes out Rock. The last defender from DeathTouch team is behind the crypt. We have a gold touch. Casey Jones has the gold. He's now moving towards the top of ladder number 2. Decides, no, he's going to go out into the graveyard for some reason, going to push spawn. This could be another bad decision. They have enough time, and no, it gets returned. Take the gold, go through the cellar. Why are you doing this to yourselves, LQD? How many times? Oh my gosh. Alright, they finally have it. They have enough time. 55 seconds left on the clock. Purple Rain has the gold. Running to the graveyard, gets mown down. Take it down the ladder. Please! Oh, it does not look good as the Allied members are all dead. They are not responding yet. Now they do. Some of them release. Things are looking grim here, Sabo, as I pass the action back to you.
Oh, man, let me tell you, LiQuiD, Allied team, they've had some really good shots this set, and, 27 seconds remaining. It looks like it's going to be 3-0. In fact, I think they don't have enough time, even if they had the dream situation. Good games already being exchanged. LiQuiD there every single time, and I mean this. I'm not exaggerating. Every single time they picked up the gold, they ran spawn route. Yeah, that'll work maybe once or twice, but if you do it every single time, for Pete's sake, it seemed like DeathTouch is going to catch on, and that they did. And LQD got stopped flat time and time again. Allied team could not beat the clock. The Tauntaun is angry. That makes the score, buddy, a clean sweep. 3-2-0 in favor of DeathTouch. ET moves on to face Narf in the coming weeks.
Well, that was just an awful offensive sequence. The LQD, their defense wasn't that bad. DT's offense was stifled a few times, held them to 7 minutes, 8 minutes, respectively. Did a pretty decent job once the crypt was blown and the gold was exposed at just defending it and not letting it get very far. However, their offense, it was just bad decisions. Their strategy was flawed, and the worst part about it, Sabo, is that they didn't adjust. They didn't call an audible when they needed to. That spawn push tactic might work against some noobs, but not against DeathTouch, and they have to realize that. Give it a shot once, all right? Give it a shot the first time. If it doesn't work, screw it. Play conservatively. Play smart. There's a reason why you don't see a lot of teams going spawn route, and that's because the Axis spawn there. And when they spawn there, you're not going to get by. It's very common knowledge. I mean, it's not a surprising thing. And unfortunately, I don't want to insult LQD, but man, this is the semifinals, and they have to bring their A game. They have to be more on the ball than that, don't they, Sabo?
Yeah, you'd think. But then again, LQD, we've known practically nothing about them. They went down an entirely different bracket than DeathTouch did, playing Saint and Global Assault Team. They didn't have that intense buffering that DT had with Darkside and Locked on Target. So, I don't want to come off sounding hard on LQD, but they did have the easier path to the semifinal round than DT. DT, showing their experience from those past 2 matches that they won, came out on top, severely on top. 3-0. What's that mean? That means not next Thursday, Justice, but I suppose it's the Thursday after next on TSN. You will have the final round in the Cal Main Season 3 playoffs, buddy. I'm looking forward to it. DeathTouch versus Narf, the top teams of this league, and I can say that with confidence.
Well, it was a decent game. It's been better. We've seen a lot of close matches with DeathTouch up until this round. Unfortunately, a little bit of a letdown for the fans here tonight. LQD maybe just feeling a little bit nervous. They're not used to this big game atmosphere in the playoffs. Obviously, a Cal Open team from last season, now thrust into the spotlight in front of all 200 listeners on TSN and a bunch more on Wolf TV there. And DeathTouch is just drawing on experience. They have their wits about them. They're not going to get rattled like LQD. Derm saying, I think I have something in my nose. Well, guess what, Derm?
Pick it.
Screw you, buddy. That's all I got to say about that. I'm not taking any of this lip. And the worst part is it's from my own clan, Sabo. They're making fun of me. They're constantly calling me Michael Jackson. I mean, I don't sound like Michael Jackson, do I?
Yeah, you do. Man, we've gone downhill.
Okay, I'm going to stop that right now.
Oh, boy.
Sabo, yeah,
Justice.
Back to the seriousness.
Yeah. Well,
that listeners have come to know and love from you and I.
Yes. Let's remind the listeners of what's going on in the world of TSN and the world of Wolfenstein. In the immediate future, you can expect, as the Cal season, the Cal playoffs dwindle down to a close, we've got one more big game coming up there. Not next Thursday, but the one after that. We have the TWL playoffs just now getting started, don't we? Beta League every Wednesday night on TSN. the Alpha League every Sunday night. In fact, I'm going to work on getting some matches scheduled this Sunday, so you can check out tsncentral.com, check the calendar there for more information. Also, by the time TWL starts winding down to a close, hey, you're an admin for STA, tell us, playoff time's coming, right?